So, who am I really? Well, the best way to explain who I am, imagine if Gordon Ramsay and Dr. Phil had a baby. I would be their baby child. It would be me, Dr. Darenzo. I'm a clinical forensic and business psychologist. What that means is I treat people clinically for psychological disorders, and then I also work in the forensic realm as an expert witness or a court-appointed evaluator, and then also I help business people by doing employment-type psychological testing or help them with performance. And a branch of the business is also sports psychology or performance-type psychology. Why did I become a psychologist? I mean, what a great time to be a psychologist. I mean, here we've got the pandemic, and we have all this mental health awareness, and people are really interested in mental health. And finally, we're accepting that there's a mind-body connection. Of course, we've always known, as a psychologist, you've always known that there's that mind-body connection, but now we're seeing it's the same system, really. So when you have physical problems, you have mental health problems. When you have mental health problems, you have physical problems. But it's finally not embarrassing anymore to go to a psychologist. So it's really great. I mean, people, anybody, everybody can knock on the door and come in and seek help, and there's no embarrassment, there's no stigma like there used to be. So I got to tell you what, so this is kind of interesting. Most psychologists and others with professional degrees often go straight through with school, and I had a little bumpy road. Okay, I got to tell you that I ruined my parents' American dream. I got to tell you this because I went off to college at Furman University first for my undergraduate degree, and then I ended up in rehab and a halfway house and became a recovering alcoholic instead of an active one. And then I became a construction worker for 2 years, working for a masonry engineering company and also a commercial painting company. And then I tell you what, I was like, I'm going back to school because this is exhausting. And even though I knew that I could make a living that way, I still had this love for psychology. And now that I had really patched my life together and I still had the memories of going to a psychologist as a kid. So I went to the University of North Florida, got a job at a treatment center, finished my undergraduate degrees, and then I continued to work in the treatment field for a couple of years, and then I was accepted at Nova Southeastern University in Fort Lauderdale in their doctorate of clinical psychology program and got my master's and doctorate degree there. After that, I was commissioned as a naval officer and joined the Navy as a Navy psychologist for 5 years and traveled the world. I had so many wonderful experiences while I was in the Navy because I was often the only psychologist in the command, so they would want me to do everything. And the amazing thing is, what did I do? I kind of extrapolated that in private practice to doing everything too. So in 2008, we opened up our first office. We remained in that office for maybe 2 years, and then I bought a building and set up my first real office there, and then started hiring people and expanded the business. This year, we opened up a second location. Both locations are in Jacksonville, Florida, and the focus of the practice is doing clinical work, so treating patients, and then also doing forensic work, working with attorneys and judges and the court system. And then also working with lots of different companies doing evaluations as well as doing a lot of coaching. What makes Darenzo Psychology different? What makes coming to me and working with me differently? It's like coming to a bravery factory. We teach you how to face your fears and be your best. I'm going to teach you how to be bold. We find the truth and we tell the truth. Since I've been in private practice, one of my passions is actually working with couples and repairing relationships. As a psychologist, I'm truly a relationship expert. So not only do I understand communication and interpersonal skills, but I also understand psychopathology. So if someone is suffering from a certain mental health challenge, I give them a diagnosis and also provide the correct treatment to work so they can come back together in a more healthy place. And the great thing about couples, why I love couples work so much, is the fact that there are definitely generational ripple effects. So if I can save a couple, especially if they have children, then I'm making an amazing impact on that family. But speaking of couples, I just finished a manuscript for my first book. Now, I don't know what the main title is going to be, because initially it was going to be How Not to Fuck Up Your Life. And I don't know if a lot of publishers are going to like that. And I don't want to alienate any readers, even though that's what it's really about, how not to fuck up your life, because who you choose will determine the rest of your life. And that's really important to know. Relationships fail because of two reasons. I mean, incompatibility, or one partner is really dysfunctional in the relationship. So hopefully with this book, we're going to help resolve those issues for lots of people. It's really exciting stuff, and I'm just really thrilled that my life is taking lots of turns, and what I know is that I was always focused on self-improvement. It's really, it's building myself physically, mentally, and you could say spiritually, or, socially, just being a good human being, trying to be the best person that I can be. And I got to tell you, my family, oh my God. So my wife, her name is Erica, and she is the sister of my best friend growing up. So it's amazing. But he, of course, didn't want me to have anything to do with her when I was younger, even in my late 20s. But he, after I patching my life together and stuff, he said, try it as long as you treat her well. And now I have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, and all great kids, lots of love. I love my children. We spend lots of time together, try to spend as much free time as I can. So that's who I am and how I got here. The reason that I say that I am Dr. Phil and Gordon Ramsay's baby, there's a reason for this, because most psychologists that you go to will just sit and listen to you and reflect what you say, and you will often leave after spending many hours with them not having direction. I got to tell you, people that come to me, they want answers. I am empathetic. I do listen. I do reflect what you say, but I'm going to give you direction. If you're in a bad relationship, I'm going to tell you to stop. I'm going to tell you to get out of it. If you're exhibiting some dysfunctional behavior that's damaging to your family or damaging to your professional career, I'm going to tell you to stop. Not only am I going to tell you to stop, but I'm going to tell you what to replace it with and what to do differently, so you can then have everything that you truly want and deserve.